Niagara Falls is one of the most famous natural wonders in North America. It is part of the Great Lakes system and drains Lake Erie into Lake Ontario through the Niagara River. The falls and the river form a natural border between the province of Ontario and the state of New York. This video focuses on the Ontario side, which is far more developed and where the bulk of visitors go. There are multiple ways to experience the falls. You can view them from above by simply walking along the pedestrian walkway. You can go right up to the edge of the falls itself or view from a distance for a more complete view. You can get a sweeping bird's eye view by going up the Skyline Tower, which features an observation deck and a revolving restaurant. But the best way to really feel the power of the falls is on a boat. The boats departing from the US side still have this name, the Mid of the Mist. On the Canadian side, however, it is now called Niagara City Cruises. You can buy tickets directly at the entrance, but you will save some time by buying in advance online. The ticket is not for a specific departure, but rather for a timed window. With boats leaving approximately every 15 minutes, lines can look quite long at the height of summer. But because the tickets are for a timed window, you will most likely be able to get on the first boat you line up for, and if not, then for sure the second. There is a cafe with quick bites and washrooms available just before the dock. Look up and you will see a zip line that zips you alongside the Niagara River towards the falls. The entrance to the zip line is back up on the street level, close to the entrance to the boat cruise. If you're going on the boat with young children, you will be asked to leave your stroller in the designated area just before boarding. A free disposable poncho is provided to each person boarding the boat. As the boat takes you closer and closer to the falls, the spray becomes heavier and heavier. If your phone is not water resistant, use a waterproof pouch to keep it safe if you're planning to take pictures or videos. Of course, the falls themselves are the main highlight, but the falls also generate a Class 5 rapids just a bit downriver. To view up close, visit the Whitewater Walk, a boardwalk at the bottom of the gorge. There are multiple observation decks where you can marvel at the sheer power generated by the falls pushed through a narrow gorge. Here, purchasing tickets in advance won't actually save you much time. The wait is for the elevator that takes you down to the bottom of the gorge, not to purchase tickets. Limited free parking is on site. Just a bit downriver is the Niagara Whirlpool. Because the gorge takes a perpendicular turn, the sudden change in direction coming out of the rapids results in turbulent swirling of the river. The best way to see the whirlpool is the Whirlpool Aero Car. It is a cable car that takes you from one side of the gorge to the other with a bird's eye view of the whirlpool. Fun fact, because the shape of the Canada-US border follows the shape of the gorge, you will cross the border in the air 4 times over the course of the cable car ride. Besides the falls, there are lots of other activities in Niagara for adults and kids alike. The Clifton Hill area is filled with Vegas-like attractions, such as Ripley's Believe It or Not, a massive arcade, and a multi-floor go-kart track. For adults, there are 2 casinos on the Canadian side. Casino Niagara, which is close to Clifton Hill, and the entrance to the boat cruise and zipline, located in the complex that includes Sheraton and Crown Plaza, and Falls View Casino, which is in the newer Falls View Casino Resort, located almost directly above the crest of the falls itself. Conveniently, there is a tram that is a few minutes away from Falls View that takes you down to the main viewing area right above the falls. Both resort complexes each contain many fine dining options. One thing to remember, parking at these hotels is expensive. There are many surface lots nearby to the big resorts where you can typically save about half on your parking costs. If you're just coming for a day trip, parking that is right by the falls can also be double the cost compared to just a few streets away. A better option for where to park if you're boarding the Niagara City Cruises is to head east on Falls Avenue from Clifton Hill, passing by the Sheraton and Crown Plaza and towards Bird Kingdom. The road takes a sharp left, and there are a few lots right by the street. If you would like to venture outside of the resort, AG-inspired cuisine at the Sterling Inn and Spa is one of the most renowned restaurants in the area. Less than 5-minute drive from both Fallsview and Casino Niagara. If big hotels are not your thing, there are many bed and breakfast accommodations along the Niagara Parkway, which follows the Niagara River as it moves downstream from the falls. Other attractions for kids include the Bird Kingdom, an indoor aviary. Birds freely fly in a tropical, humid setting. Further up the Niagara Parkway is a famous Niagara Butterfly Conservatory. About 15 minutes north of Niagara Falls is the town of Niagara-on-the-Lake. Take a stroll down Queen Street, the main street in the historic town center, and browse the cute boutiques. One of the best restaurants in the area is Treadwell, found along the main strip. Niagara-on-the-Lake is home to the famous Shaw Festival and specializes in plays from the era of the Irish playwright George Bernard Shaw. His most well-known play is Pygmalion, which became the famous My Fair Lady. It is one of the largest repertory theaters in North America. Niagara-on-the-Lake is also the birthplace of the Niagara wine industry. Due to its position between Lake Ontario and the Lake Erie and right next to the Niagara River, the wineries by Niagara-on-the-Lake, about 15-minute drive from Niagara Falls, experience a climate that is much more forgiving in the wintertime compared to the rest of Ontario. With soils similar to Burgundy in France and a longer growing season, Niagara is making renowned cool climate wines, particularly Chardonnays, Rieslings, and Pinot Noirs. Of course, Niagara wineries are probably still most famous internationally for producing ice wines. The wine tasting rooms typically charge a small fee to try a few samples, and the fee is usually waived with the purchase of a bottle or two. If you're interested in knowing more about Niagara wineries, leave your comment down below. Many of the wineries also have amazing restaurants on site next to the tasting rooms. Peller, Two Sisters, Trias, to name just a few. The Niagara wine industry grew up by Niagara-on-the-Lake, but these days wineries stretch far west along the Niagara Peninsula towards Toronto in the Vineland region, about 30 minutes away from Niagara Falls. One of our recent favorites is Megalomaniac, which has a massive, newly renovated patio. The winery sits on top of a small ridge with immediate views of its extensive vineyards in 3 directions. The elevated position also provides a great view of Lake Ontario, and on a clear day, you can see Toronto's skyline on the far side of the lake. Compared to some winery restaurants that mostly feature fine dining dishes, Megalomaniac's menu is heavy on small shareable plates, making it reasonably priced and perfect for lunch. We visited Megalomaniac after spending the morning picking cherries at the nearby 20 Valley Harvest Farms. This specific pick-your-own-fruit farm only has cherries and is therefore only open for a short season. The cherries were sweet and plentiful when we picked, and the trees were short enough for young children to participate even without needing any stepping stools or ladders. From mid-June through to October, there is almost always something in season to pick in Niagara region. Strawberry season usually starts in mid-June, followed by cherries in early July, peaches and apricot in late July and early August, pears and some early apple varieties such as Macintosh in late August and early September, and the later ripening apples such as Gala and Fuji in late September and early October. As you can see, Niagara Falls and its surrounding region has much to offer for any age. Even living so close, an hour and a half away in Toronto, we never tire of the majesty of the falls, and with such a variety of attractions and activities, it's a place that we continue to go back to again and again every year.